The 2025 Formula 1 season. Honestly, we could spend the whole video talking about the Great Ferrari Depression, but we won't, because 2025 gave us way too much to cover. Max almost pulling off the greatest comeback of all time, a papaya WDC and Constructor Championship combo, with Lando ending a 17-year wait for McLaren, and of course, Zach Brown delivering arguably the worst congratulatory message of all time.
Lando, this is Zach from McLaren. Is this the World Champion Hotline?
Oh my God, bro. Oh, hell no, man. What the man?
Frankly, if I had to sum up F1 2025 in one word, it would be a roller coaster. And we saw that right from the very start of the season. However, a few minutes before the race went underway, rookie Isaac Hadjar spun during the formation lap and cried so hard that the entire track was a swimming pool for the rest of the race. I swear, that day was a rookie's nightmare. Liam Lawson did his best Isaac impression, Jack Doohan followed suit, and Gabriel Bortoletto just couldn't have them take all the attention. The only rookie who really stood out was Kimi Antonelli. He did spin on the slippery track, but still managed to finish 4th. A good race considering the previous race winner and the veteran legend of the sport crashed on the same track. Lewis Hamilton finished 10th on his Ferrari debut, and Oscar Piastri spun off from 2nd to finish just a place ahead of Hamilton. Meanwhile, world champion Lando, that has a nice ring to it, had his fair share of problems but was able to manage them to win the race. There was so much drama in Australia, it basically sucked the joy from the next 4 races. Cause when F1 moved to China, Piastri grabbed his first win of the season, but nothing much happened. Well, besides the Leclerc-Hamilton kiss, and also Lando brake problems, and Ferrari double DSQ. At this point, every Ferrari fan was having a monumental crash out at their local therapist's office just 2 races into the season.
What is it about
Ferrari
that disappoints you so much?
Ferrari.
The next race didn't do anyone any favors either. Japan has always delivered great races in F1 history, but this year, it was easily one of the most boring races of the season. Sure, Max took a great pole lap, but the race itself was just a long train of cars following each other with nothing happening, except if you consider Lando's stint as a lawnmower interesting.
Yeah, I think the grass was it was not really well cut on the right-hand side, so I think Lando saw that as well, and he made sure that it was nicely cut.
I wasn't even trying to race Max, I was just trying to cut the grass, like he said. So
Bahrain wasn't much better, with Piastri stretching his championship lead, Pierre Gasly somehow dragging his tractor into the points, and Max having a pretty terrible race for his standards. You know you're doing something wrong when you finish behind both Ferraris. Speaking of Ferraris, their fans had their first "we are so back" moment of the season in Saudi Arabia with a Leclerc podium. But it was doomsday for Lando, who failed to make the podium, and at this point people had already started doubting his title chances. However, Bahrain was yet another boring race. 4th in a row makes you wonder if that Australian race at the start was from a different timeline in the multiverse. But stay glued, cause from this point, F1 2025 would go feral. Miami had Antonelli's rough start after taking the sprint pole, and both McLaren drivers overtook Max. And the classic Ferrari shenanigans, except this time it was over the radio.
In China, I got out of the way when you're on a different strategy.
Understood. We swapped the cars.
Have a tea break while you're at it. Come on.
But when Lewis finally swapped places with Leclerc, he couldn't overtake Antonelli ahead. Ferrari then ordered him to give Leclerc back his spot, which only led to even more chaos.
We're gonna swap the car in 17.
So you don't think I like us out for what?
Yes.
And at the front, it was another Piastri W, making it 3 in a row for Pastry, and the first of such for a McLaren driver since 1998. But let's not forget Liam crashing into Alonso. And that basically sums up Alonso's story this entire year. He's been one of, if not the most unlucky driver on the grid, because it's either his engine is blowing up or someone just going into him from nowhere. From there, F1 took us to Emilia-Romagna, where Max gave us this absolute beauty.
Verstappen roars around the outside to take the lead.
Max in front was basically the story for the rest of the race, and a VSC made it difficult for both Lando and Piastri to do anything against his frightening pace. But once again, let's not forget Alonso, who was 5th on the grid only to drop to 11th place because of the timing of the 2 safety cars.
It's gonna be a torture. It's like luckiest driver in the world.
And it will get even worse for him in Monaco, where his engine exploded. At this point, we need to stop saying Murphy's Law and start saying Alonso's Law, because for this guy, everything that can go wrong will absolutely go wrong.
It's incredible.
He did not finish the race, and that made his worst start to the season ever. And long before that, Pierre Gasly crashed into the back of Yuki Tsunoda because apparently he was admiring his ass. But besides that, Monaco was a pretty straightforward race with a Lando win and Leclerc second. Next, we head to Spain, where Max and Russell found the race too boring, so they decided to put on a classic drama to entertain the whole grid. That gave Max 3 penalty points on his license, and a 10-second penalty which dropped him to 10th, far off both Piastri and Lando, who had a 1-2 finish, and Charles Leclerc was on the podium once again. The next Grand Prix in Canada was straight up a box office action movie, cause a shit ton of things happened. Antonelli scored his first podium, Russell took his first win of the year, and Norris crashed straight into Piastri, forcing him to retire on the spot. That little drama sort of overshadowed Russell and Antonelli's W's, but it was a solid F1 race day overall. And just when you thought it couldn't get crazier, the Australian GP delivered even more, with Carlos Sainz's car going up in flames before the race even started. I swear I could go on and on about Carlos Sainz driving a Williams being the greatest waste of talent ever, but I guess I would talk about that in another video. Once again, the racing gods smiled on Ferrari, with Leclerc finishing 3rd and Hamilton 4th. Lando bounced back to win after his disaster in the previous race. Meanwhile, Antonelli took out Max on the first lap, which led to a surprisingly wholesome post-race interview.
First of all, feel very sorry to the team and Max, of course, because he was a passenger. I immediately apologized towards him after the crash.
I spoke quickly to Kimi also. He came even to the hospitality. I mean, yeah, you know, I think every driver has made a mistake like that. You know, no one does that on purpose as well. So for me, that's not a big deal.
But the biggest highlight of the Australian GP was definitely the Gabriel Alonso wheel-to-wheel action. Finally, Silverstone 2025. We all know the MVP of this race. Yep, Nico Hulkenberg. Podium finish and setting the record for the longest time before finishing in the top 3. And he did that all the way from 19th. But he wasn't the only one with a race to remember that day, as Lando took his first win on home soil, benefiting from a 10-second penalty handed to Piastri. That weekend was also an all-time F1 record crowd, 168,000 on the day and 500,000 over the weekend. The Belgian GP was a pretty dull race again, with Piastri-Lando 1-2. Hungary, though, gave us something else entirely with the Leclerc, Russell, and Ferrari drama. Leclerc's speed fell off in the final part of the race, and he was clearly frustrated. He complained to the team about how they managed things and said they should have listened to him before the start.
This is so incredibly frustrating. We've lost all competitiveness. You just have to listen to me. I would have found a different way of managing those issues. Now it's just undrivable. It's a miracle if we finish on the podium.
Russell pitted 3 laps later and quickly closed the gap. With 10 laps left, he started attacking. His first move came with 9 laps to go, but he immediately complained that Leclerc moved under braking. 1 lap later, Russell tried again, got past, and repeated his complaint. The stewards agreed, and Leclerc was given a 5-second penalty for erratic defending. After that came the summer break, and honestly, not much happened. Besides, Jack Doohan swapped with Colapinto, a chronic crasher for another chronic crasher. Anyway, back to actual racing, and thankfully a great one, the Dutch Grand Prix. It's criminal that they're planning to drop this race after 2026 when it delivers good racing almost every year. We got real overtakes, and Lando's car decided to self-destruct. But if there's one thing to note from the last few races before the Dutch GP, it's that Max was pretty much anonymous. But not to worry, because if you've seen my last video, you know the next races were the Max Verstappen show.
Take a 3rd win of the season. Max Verstappen wins the Italian Grand Prix. Verstappen with another masterclass. The Dutch driver will look up and see the checkered flag first. First offensive move for Max Verstappen. Cross the line to take the checkered flag. The dream of Title 5 is alive for Max Verstappen. Max Verstappen wins the Las Vegas Grand Prix. His name up in lights. A contender for the Formula 1 World Championship. Max Verstappen will not be moved. He heads to Abu Dhabi with a fighting chance still.
And there you have it, guys, but very quickly, I want to give out some awards. First, best radio moment. Do I even need to say it?
Is there a leakage?
A leakage of what?
I have the seat full of water. Like full of water.
Must be the water.
Let's add that to the words of wisdom.
Driver of the season is Max Verstappen. Most dramatic race is either Italy, Brazil, or Australia at the start. Biggest glow up is definitely pastry, all thanks to the baking factory. The unluckiest moment is the McLaren double DNF. The biggest plot twist is the GOAT Nico podium. And the meme of the season goes to...
The best ever was in Monza when he destroyed the car. Mate. Mate. I destroyed the car!
No! 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 I destroyed the car! No!
And just before you go, here are 6 facts about the F1 2025 season you probably didn't know. Fact 1. The first season since 2008 in which every team had a nightmare race weekend where they scored 0 points. Fact 2. Max Verstappen scored 234 points in the 10 races after the 2025 summer break, just 24 points shy of his insane 2023 post-break record. Fact 3. George Russell qualified inside the top 6 at 23 of 24 races this season. Monaco was the only time he missed. True consistency. Fact 4. In his first year at Williams, Carlos Sainz became their first driver since 2014 to take multiple podiums and a front row start in the same season. Fact 5. For the first time in over 50 years, the same 2 drivers from different teams swapped P1 and P2 in back-to-back seasons. Verstappen and Norris repeated a rare feat last seen in 1972-73. Fact 6. The last time Ferrari had a season without a Lewis Hamilton podium was 2006, before he even debuted, and the very next year, a Ferrari driver won the title. Now, don't get your hopes up, Ferrari fans, because as they say... Speaking of titles, click on the video on your screen to learn exactly what it takes to win one.